So let's talk about what the FFM technical stack. Okay, this is more towards goes with the architectural decision what will be used, and the software engineer actually use for that during the development. And when the deployment happen, CloudOps has to follow the same step to deploy, because whatever has been used during the development, same thing has to be used during the deployment, nothing less, then it will not work. So FFM works completely based on the Raspule API. This is the Python-based web server. FFM does not have real-time communication, such as FFM does not have a chat. Chat is one of this real-time communication. FFM has two microservices that is built based on the Python Flask framework. One is task microservices, another is authentication and authorization. Again, the web server is the same. Means that when you deploy your application for the web browser, the web client to use, web client does not use the raw code. They just type the URL and just type this. And to convert it, you need a server. It's called the web server. This is the web server. In the app server is a FlashDAB. Flask is a Python-based framework. For the gateway, Nginx ingress means it's a web server. Gateway means once you come to my house, you will be stopping in the front door. That's actually the gateway. On this door, the system decide where you are going. You are going the which room, which place. It's called the gateway. So they also use this. Database, Postgres. The cache means cache in a simple way. When you are chatting with one another, and then when you are logging to a group chat, right? Instead of it goes to the main database, you are using another database. It's called the caching database. We are using the Redis. Redis is one of the industry highly demandable. The cache database, cache means it is storing for a short period of time. Then it is pushing to the database based on the business logic. So what is the benefits? Benefits is user does not need to go to the database over and over. What is the benefits? If you type the username and password one time, next time it is remembering. It is some of the mechanism is Redis like the caching database. It is remembering there so that it is supplying you next time you log in. Development method is a test-driven development. This is one of the framework with the development methodology we use. Means first test it, then develop it. Means when you test it, of course, you will say it is failing. When you develop, then you test it, it is passing. That's called the test-driven development. Another logic behind the scene means every requirement should be able to test it. It means do not write the junk requirements. So TDD, one of the main thing is, regardless of your role in the development team, you should be able to test it, any of the requirement. So even TDD means developer actually test it as well. The requirements, okay, I can see it is failing now, good. After the write the code, I can see it is passing. It's called the test-driven development. FFM is deployed on the Docker. That's exactly the DevOps job. So they actually use the Alpine Linux. Monitoring is Stackdriver. It is for the DevOps. They will do this. Platform scalability. They use the Kubernetes for the scaling. Scaling means you have a 2 server and you assume you have a 20,000 users. You are great. But the business decided next year they're expecting 50,000 users on the platform. At this moment, you need to scale. So the DevOps engineer use the Kubernetes. Kubernetes can do the auto scaling on the cloud. Means you just tell how many server you need. That's it. It will be adding the server and your system will be working smooth. Another approach is you have a 2 computer and you have a 20,000 user, they are great. As business has just told you, they want 50,000 users. So now you have to buy the computer, you have to add the computer, you need to install everything, you need to configure everything, you need to integrate with your existing computer. So that's too much work. In the cloud, we use the Kubernetes and the other service as well. It does the automatic scaling. Scaling means you just put your feet, it will go up. Means there is no problem. I think as communication is REST. So REST is a communication. Remember, we talked about this 2 device or more than 2 device sending and receiving the data logically. JSON format data or the XML format data, that's called the Raspule API. And look at this. Communication between services, Raspule API. Deployment stack, Kubernetes and Docker. Now again, here is the stack. If you use the Docker, you can use the Docker Swarm, that's a stack. If you use the Docker, another better stack is Kubernetes. Kubernetes can stack the 1,000 to the millions of users in the platform, millions. And the code repository is GitLab. So you guys already know this. Auto deployment not applicable, we do not use. For the testing is the API testing tool. For the project management, back in the day, we used the TFS Microsoft DevOps Azure. That's also Microsoft the project management platform. And I think they forgot to mention it was strictly followed the Agile Scrum, and the front end is ReactJS. So behind the scene, whatever you are using, for TS4U, for Agile, the Agile LM will be writing this technical stack. Then you guys will know what is happening behind the scene.
Okay.